I'm not gonna rest. I'm gonna work till I'm the best.
Let me tell you something, 'cause you don't know nothing, girlie. You can talk about me, but I don't owe you nothing, yeah. Living my life. Yeah, I'm just living my life. Just somebody mama denge. Ngala mwenye mbele kwari yangange. Dawila pedu to kwari bafangange. Obe no ndubi na bahala mendi yange. Yeah, itashidulika. Te baro kwela kucha mengi shindo birika. Nongenge ya pima pepo handi tirika. Yeah, 'cause I'm that nigga. And if you have a problem, homie, say it to me. Take a look at me now. Let me tell you something, 'cause you don't know nothing, girlie. You can talk about me, but I don't owe you nothing, yeah. Living my life. Yeah, I'm just living my life. Let me tell you something, 'cause you don't know nothing, girlie. You can talk about me, but I don't owe you nothing, yeah. Living my life. Yeah, I'm just living my life. Let me tell you something, 'cause you don't know nothing, girlie. You can talk about me, but I don't owe you nothing, yeah. Living my life. Yeah, I'm just living my life.
Just 16 minutes gone past 8 on this Monday morning. It is Ethnics with Living My Life, and that's how we usher in the morning mix for today. Good morning, welcome to the show. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Neville.
Moro.
Mapenduka nawa.
Twapenduka.
We get. How do you greet in Finnish? How's the weekend, guys?
Why don't you ask me about other languages?
No, because you are from Finland, Moss.
Oh, okay.
How was the weekend?
Yes.
I thought we're still in the weekend.
Yeah?
It's most Sunday today.
Just like a
What would you
Sunday.
be doing here on a Sunday? Howard?
No, it's Sunday today. Yesterday was Monday. Okay, you guys don't get it, ne?
No.
Can somebody who's watching the show please tell these people it's Sunday today? Yesterday was Monday.
As they blow Buffalo
Oh,
Fontaine.
it's Sophia Shaningwa. Sophia Shaningwa, yes.
I didn't get it all. I thought it was the brandy that we gave you last week. That is still having an effect. But in any case, guys, good morning and welcome to the Morning Mix. Good morning to those of you that are joining the live stream. As you can see, we have a special guest in the studio for today. She's not going to be with us for long, but we welcome Ms. Lina Ndengu. She's the Corporate Communications and Marketing Manager at the Electoral Commission of Namibia, ECN. Moro.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
The studio is so lively. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah. Promise you will never forget this one.
Yes.
Not lively, it's crazy. These people. Lina, I try to keep order in here.
Really
That's
now?
what I try to do every day.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
It's a
Very
menace
hard
to
to
society.
believe that.
Yes. Now, to those of you that are not very clued up, there are elections coming up later.
Please,
towards
not
the
the
end of the year.
presidential and-
No, we're not voting for another president.
Again.
We are stuck with the one we have for the next 5 years, but we are
Stuck?
voting. Yes.
Oh, your choice of words, ne?
You know?
No, stuck can be good or bad. I mean, I'm stuck with my wife for the rest of my life. So
Wow.
like, You are the one who's adding the negative connotation. I had
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Don't put things
We are with Akhaba for the next 5 years.
for the next 5 years. He's our president, and that's just the way it is. So we have.
Just the way it is.
It's a, stop throwing me off my
Sorry,
game, man.
sorry.
You see now, even I'm getting confused.
Yes, it's not for the, it's not for the national elections and presidential.
Yeah, no.
Yes, those are done.
Yeah,
Those results are done. They
What-
accepted everything.
What do they call it? Local authorities, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the local authority elections coming up at the end of this year. So maybe you can just give us a little bit of an update. How far are the preparations?
Okay. Yes, we, as per the electoral cycle, we basically every 4 years, every 5 years, we have these elections coming up, the regional council and local authority election. And this is slated for November 27th this year. But before that, there's certain things that needs to happen, and we're talking about the supplementary registration of voters, and this will be conducted on the 5th to the 15th. Sorry, from the 7th to the 15th of September.
Okay.
But usually, when this comes, the ECN is also mandated by the Act basically to employ temporary positions, to have temporary positions for young people to help conduct this registrations and the elections. And we had a lot of, with COVID-19, a huge challenge because ECN receive applications of around 50,000 when it comes to elections every year. And we were like, we will basically be breaking the rules, the regulations of the government if people come and drop off their CVs.
At the
So what is
offices.
the route to go? We had to go online. And I know a lot of young people, a lot of people out there find it as a challenge because this is a national election and it's not just a certain constituency that we're talking about. We're talking about rural areas as well, people in Opua rural, in Kavango rural, and we had complaints on how are people going to load their CVs when people are going to go online. So we wanted to just give out more information this morning on what is it that people can do, how is it that they can basically load their applications, and whatever challenges that we've seen, questions coming up already, just so that we can share some information on that.
With the loading of online, how will you guys ensure that there's inclusion? Because you said there's this internet challenge.
Yeah.
I understand that digital is the future.
Yes.
But with some people, will there still be an option for a physical copy for those that can perhaps not access not just obviously internet but computer?
No, unfortunately not. This is all applications should be loaded online. So if you have a family member, if you have a friend, if you have a colleague, if you have an uncle and aunt that is in the city, you can give them your documents and they can load this for you. You don't have to be the one to physically load your documents. So that's why we're trying to say that find someone that that have access to the internet that can load these documents for you. Basically, we've got like 8 positions that are out there for the supplementary voter registrations, and this is 6,000 positions that we're talking about. And that also, on top of that, we've got another 12,000 applications that will be vacancies, temporary vacancies for the polling day. So people, young people, anyone that wants to apply, they're welcome to really go to the ECN website, www.ecn.na, click on vacancies, and then once you click on show all jobs, browse all jobs, it throws out all the different vacancies in all the different regions and all the different constituencies. So basically you can find whatever job you feel that you qualify for because all the requirements are also online.
Okay, I was just about to ask what are the criteria that you guys would be using, but you say everything is online, so they can just go check on the ECN's website?
Yes, they can basically just go check on the ECN website.
Excellent.
All right. The message crystal clear?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. I'm curious. I don't know if you're okay talking about this, but I'm curious with the current situation in Walfish Bay. How do you foresee that working? I mean, if we get closer to the elections and the situation has not changed,
Yeah.
does ECN have like some form of contingency plan?
Basically, at the moment, we have regional offices in all the different regions, like in Swakopmund and in Walfish Bay, and we are working working basically with our regional office people there. But like I said, at the moment, yes, election will happen. The government, the president is the one, or the National Assembly is the one that have to decide that elections will not go forward, because this is like a constitutional thing. You can't, ECN cannot just decide. We have to propose it if we see that really it is not happening. But for now, yes, we are. What we're trying to also promote is that the region that you are in, rather apply for the region that you are in. Then you don't have to stay in Ohangwena and apply for Kara's region to go and work there. So we are basically also asking the people, the unemployed people in Erongo region, apply for the election positions in Erongo, so that you remain within your region. You don't have to travel. And that's what we're also trying to do basically then. The people within the Erongo region will be then responsible for the Erongo region to make sure that elections happen.
Okay. Since
No, sorry, I was just
Clear
laughing
now.
because I don't know why you're under the impression that in November it will still just be in the Rongo.
oh no,
Basically, that is so true.
I you know,
I like how you think. I like how you think. Yeah.
In fact, we're actually hoping that by November,
Yeah.
it's looking much better.
we're in a better situation. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for me to and Lina, I definitely also, I think we're all hopeful.
Yes.
Then again, watching the state of the nation address of the South African president last night again, sees them stay in stage 3 lockdown, and obviously
with more strict
certain
regulations.
novelties being taken away again, and then it just makes you become way more despondent as to how things might pan up going forward.
Yes.
But we definitely foresee and we hope that this process will not be halted in any way. So we remain hopeful.
We definitely remain hopeful. If you look at it, basically we're trying to and make sure that with all our voter education materials, we're trying to remind people, continue keeping your mask on, because it's very important.
Yeah.
And it, especially during the voter registration process as well as the election process, this will be part of our education materials. COVID-19 is real. You need to keep your mask. You need to keep social distancing, and all this will always be part of our message whenever we are dealing with the people out there. Yes.
1 meter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Common sense.
Common sense. Yes.
All right. As far as the registration goes, just real quick before we allow you to step out of the studio, do I need to register again for this election, or can I use my voter's card from previous election, from last year, basically?
Okay, you'll find that some people's card have NA under local authority. Usually with the Act, it basically tells you that whenever you are registering, last year we had the Presidential and National Assembly election. We could not register people for the local authority because the Act does not permit us. It permits us to only register for the upcoming elections. So now this year, basically, everyone that's card is saying NA will have to go back and bring their proof of residence to say that I stay in this constituency in order for them to be registered for that constituency.
And what does that document look? Is it like if you don't own a property, is it like a rental agreement?
Then you have your rental agreement and basically count as well as your municipal bill, your water bill. Sometimes with your rental you pay your own water bill, and then also if your parents' bill or your telephone bill as well, the telecom bill, and you can also have then 2 candidates police declaration first that says that you really stay in that area, and then 2 people that can vouch that you registered voters that are already registered with ECN to vouch that you are basically
living in that area.
Yes.
Doesn't that put sort of a financial burden on the ECN, because now you have to print new cards for people who you printed cards for like last year?
I would think.
Yes, it does, but unfortunately, like I said, the Act basically dictates on how things are done.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just acting within the mandate of the Act.
Interesting, Lina. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Unless there's something else that you would like to share?
No, I just want to really make sure that, to tell people out there, please go onto the ECN website, www.ecn.na, click on vacancies and apply for the positions. Like I said, we've got a lot of positions available. This would be good for unemployed youth, unemployed people out there. And as well, just to make sure, we also encourage the people living with disability, the people from
communities,
yes, as well as then women as well to apply for these positions. And we are also then basically also asking that, do apply in the region that you are to avoid traveling. We don't want you really to because you are responsible for yourself. Rather stay safe, apply for the region that you are in, because a lot of regions have a lot of constituencies, so stay within your region. And we really urge the community, the people to do that and not apply, because in the past we had people applying, staying in the north, and they apply for the south, or they want to go to the coast. Even the people from Erongo apply in Erongo because we need you there. We need you to help us with elections in the Erongo region.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we might be on lockdown. Your region might be on lockdown at the time. So
Exactly.
you won't even be able to move.
Yes, exactly.
You said all regions will be on lockdown at the time.
I said they might be. I said they might be.
All right.
It's a real possibility, guys.
Ms. Ndengo, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And please feel free to contact us anytime there is something that you would like to share, especially with your voter education and so on and so forth.
We'll definitely do that. We'll be launching our voter education around the 20th of July. So then we'll come around with more information.
Awesome.
This
Thank
whole
you.
time I'm trying to figure out Lina's accent.
Franet.
It's English.
No, it's not just English. There's no Vambu in that accent that she's having there.
Thanks.
I did say.
See the unrolliness.
So
He's the one who apparently keeps order in the
kan
studio.
ek net vra?
Wat wil jy vra?
Ja, kan ek toch net vra, Lina? Your accent sounds very Londonish.
Oh my goodness, I've not even been to London.
Okay, but that accent is not from the Four Origins. I don't know where you studied or whatever, but so far.
I don't even know what is a 4O region. Do I have a 4O region?
There, you are Finnish. Finland or Swedish or whatever. Yeah, that's it. My English is Katutura.
Grootwinkel.
That's like Okahanya accent. Yeah.
Hey.
I connect to that one.
Shiri, hou op man.
Ons praat slim Engels van mekaar.
Okay. No, interesting.
Yeah.
Lina, thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for joining
much.
us in the studio
Have a
this
lovely
morning. I
Monday.
think it was very informative. And I think, obviously, guys, if there are further information coming through, we'll ask, because we had some other questions that we wanted
That
to
we
ask.
cannot ask now,
But we're like, wag, terena ka shona.
Oh,
Kom ons
yeah.
wag net bietjie.
Net so biggie.
But thank you so much. Let me walk Lina out while you guys start with your...
Okay, sorry, before you go, are the vacancies already available?
Yes,
that
the
question.
vacancies
All right.
are already
The
available.
vacancies, yeah. So you guys just go to the website. The
You can
vacancies
go
are already
now.
available. You can start applying now.
Yes.
That was that question. Okay.
So
All right,
people are asking already.
A quick update on the COVID-19 situation around the country while Neville walks out our guest. Yesterday we reported 45 new cases. We currently stand at 785 confirmed cases in Namibia, 26 recoveries and 1 death, which we reported on Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Friday.
Yes, so that is the current situation. The caseload doesn't seem to be dropping.
I'm laughing at the 7 because somebody, I think, was it last week, was like, oh, by August we'll probably be by 500.
Wishful thinking. I mean, Saturday we had like 53 cases and 45 yesterday. Friday we had, I think, 22, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't think that number is going to drop.
No, nothing is dropping.
Yeah, no.
And I think the obviously the rate of infections and the rate of recoveries is not it will never be the same.
Disproportionate.
Yeah, it will always be disproportionate. So we for every, I mean, I'm obviously sucking figures out of my thumbs, but just to kind of give you an idea, basically for every 1 recovery there's 20 new cases.
Yeah.
Or 30 new cases.
So that is actually true. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
Which means the number will keep climbing.
It will keep climbing.
Yeah. And from what I understand as well, like I actually spent this weekend for the first time. I was trying to disconnect, so not 100% successfully, but I was just trying to disconnect from the news, from just everything, just regain my sanity.
Yeah.
But from my understanding, we are reporting a couple of cases up north.
Couple is 2.
Okay. Now, what is a triple of cases?
Just say a few, if it's more than...
Right, a few cases up north. This came over the weekend. How many cases did we report?
Me, I lose count.
Yeah.
I lose count because there's regular updates. But yes, there are cases in the north now. There are cases in other regions now. I think my last update would have been, because yesterday I was busy with the SWAPO stuff, would have been on
Saturday.
On Saturday. But obviously we also had news coming in yesterday morning, and this was about also more cases in Walfish Bay. So I did read the reports on the COVID-19 update. I just don't remember the particulars.
The particular numbers, but it is. Yes, it's worrying, but it's something we sort of we saw it coming. It was naive to think that the virus was going to stay contained to the Irango region, especially because there is not a hard lockdown on the Irango region, especially when it comes to traveling in and out of the region. I mean, there are still people who are finding reasons to move up and down, legitimate or illegitimate. I cannot really say because I'm not seeing those papers. So it was always going to move. Yeah,
I mean, there was, and I guess it's a legitimate concern about it potentially spreading faster in the north than in Walfish Bay. And yeah, it's a possibility, but the thing with Walfish Bay that is very different with the north is there's less space. If you're talking about like in residential areas like Kusabmund and so forth, you have the front houses and then you have the back flats. That's why if those places catch a fire, even in Mondesa in Sokomon, for example, if one shack catches a fire, it kind of spreads through. In the north, there's a little bit more distance. There's more space, so people are not
as congested.
But the households have many people in them as well. So one household could have up to 6-7 occupants. So in that regard, it's concerning. But the makeup. So I think it will. I mean, I hope it doesn't spread to that extent, obviously. But if it does, it will allow, I think, eventually lawmakers to sit back and look at this makeup and why COVID-19 moves differently. And I think, by the way, my prediction is it will move very differently in the north than it has in Walfish Bay.
In Walfish Bay, yeah.
In Walfish Bay, what are the main are like factory workers. Those are more the type of jobs. But then again, in the informal sector in the north, it's like the traders, the Tombo traders and whatever. And those gatherings at Shabin's, they are also huge. They're sharing a jar amongst themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
So even that makeup will be a challenge.
It will be problematic.
But I think it will, if anything, not just expose our ways of living, but also force our policymakers and our leaders to eventually go and see how to improve on those
I think
ways of living.
Our biggest problem is going to be if it hits rural Namibia, and I'm not just talking about rural Namibia.
No.
Where's
the camera?
Where's the?
Something just happened there.
The camera.
No way.
Science.
But the shot looks nice.
No, it's coming.
Huh? Is it coming?
It's a chance. You guys, and you're just sitting there.
No, I'm trying to figure out what just happened.
Oh no, the camera guy must come easy. I love this show.
It's Sunday today.
So you were talking about rural.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not worried about rural.
No, because our rural areas are really underdeveloped when you think about things like running water and so on. And most of them, or maybe not most of them, but a lot of them are quite congested.
No, don't say that.
Yes, like
rural Namibia.
Rural Namibia is like this, right? The households or the homesteads are far from each other. But each homestead can house like 50, 50 people.
No, don't say that.
It's true.
No, don't say that.
Where I come from, rural Namibia, it's
Okay,
like that.
if I talk about rural Namibia, which is the north, which I grew up, right?
No, not the north Oshakati. I'm talking about in the villages, by the stockhazies.
Yes, I'm
What do they
talking
call
about.
it?
No, I'm
Yes.
not talking about Oshakati. I'm talking about the villages as well.
Yes.
So the dynamics is usually your neighbor is durfair.
Yes.
That's the first thing. In the houses within the houses themselves, you have huts, for example, several huts. So you don't even find like in one hut like 5 people. No, you understand? It could just be like husband and wife, and in another hut is like the nanny and maybe one of the kids, and so forth and so forth. This is generally so. My concern is not really rural. Do you know what my real concern is? Informal settlements. If this thing hits informal settlements, let's say even in Windhoek, Ombili, all those places, we are in trouble. Forget rural.
It's because they're more crammed together.
They are more cramped. They're too close together. They really have more people living. In rural Namibia, if you even want to make like a comparative study, look at South Africa. COVID-19 is not affecting rural South Africa as much as it is like, let's say, the Soweto State settlement. And that will always be the challenge. Rural Namibia, for the most part, is actually okay. The households, and usually the households really get crowded during the plowing season. But there's a lot of, migration to the cities for jobs. So if you go to a lot of rural Namibia households right now, it's usually the grandmother and her young children and maybe katekurus and maybe 1 or 2 elders. So in that sense, most of the rural Namibia households are usually led by the elderly. So that's the challenge, because the elderly do get affected the most. So that will be the challenge. But in terms of infection rates, it's not, one household does not house like 50 people.
James,
It doesn't.
what's up?
Yo, my guy, I had to be a mechanic now on your dinosaurs.
Mr. Producer,
Why does it look so different?
It's because the camera fell. We had to pick it up from the floor.
the camera fell. It was like this.
And somebody, by the way, rural Namibia is not just the north. Even in the south, if you go look, or in the east or in the west, if you go look at rural setups,
Yeah.
they are not vastly populated. They are really not vastly. Even if you
Look, Maria, in general, the rural areas, doesn't, like you're saying, is the elderly and the very young.
Yes.
But that is where we all, I don't want to say vacation. Is vacation the right word?
It's fine, but
No,
Yeah,
you
but that's,
vacation, no.
maar ons gaan almal, like right now, all our kids are on the farm because we feel that is the safest place to be. So that area is crowded. And then they in an eight that jy vat kos of jy vat die of jy gaan tel of jy gaan drop. I feel like that community is less able to protect themselves should the virus start spreading there. But I also understand, and I understand, like, I know we are at least maybe 300-400 meters away from the closest homestead. But those are big homesteads. All of them, like if you like, it's a lot of people. Yeah, it's like klomp mense wat daar bly. So, but I also concur with you that I think the informal settlements are more at risk.
They are the highest
Yeah,
risk.
they are more at risk, and they're the most vulnerable, I guess, in this case.
So we must just hope.
yeah, to come think of it, if you would look at, like you do say, the Ombilis, the mixed, way back there, Danviljoen, those areas where you find these informal settlements. People are quite cramped up there. So, and I think it's been our fear now for quite a few months. If this thing hits Windhoek, what can happen there? How fast it's going to spread? That's really going to be. That's our biggest fear. If you look at places like, if you go to South Africa and you look at places like Guguletu, Langa, these places where you have these blikkies dorpies, that is basically the epicenter of this pandemic. So, and yeah.
I mean, you can look even at Walfish Bay. It didn't start in sort of uptown Walfish Bay. The real spread started in the
And just look even at the Erongo. The rural Erongo
Yes.
has been largely unscathed.
Yeah.
It hasn't really been affected. And I'm talking about, what is that area? Uis, die plekke.
Yeah.
That is more the rural Erongo. Those places haven't been vastly affected, just by the way.
Yep, but I feel also it's because the virus has not made its way to those areas.
But it has, because remember the one person in Walfish Bay got infected us because he had traveled from Walfish Bay to a funeral, I think somewhere in Uis or one of those areas. And then some cases were there, but even then it was like easily contained. Like I said, look, there is challenges. The thing with COVID-19 is not something where I would be more concerned for rural Namibia if COVID-19 was something that required like hospitalization or like fancy medical care, right? But for the most part, you understand, because that would be the shortfall, because in rural areas those facilities are lacking, right? But those facilities are not what saves a patient, unless you need ventilation. Yes, then there's a huge challenge for rural Namibia if there's ventilations needed. But really, our concern, and I hope, touch wood, it doesn't happen, informal sectors, informal living, people in informal areas, largely in the capital, by the way, because of this migration to the capital for job opportunities and whatever. The large population percentage of Namibia lives in Windhoek. And unfortunately, the conditions are not the best. Living conditions, I mean. So that's going to be the biggest challenge. Just like right now, South Africa is battling with Soweto. Battling. I mean, I was looking at stats and the graphs. The infection rate in Soweto is so scary. It's like a huge percentage of the infection is happening in Soweto right now. Yeah. And I really, really, really fear for our informal sectors. I mean, informal settlements. I really, really do. It's true. I hope it doesn't get.
I mean, they really are crammed. If you haven't been into the informal settlements, even just here in the capital, you should go check it out. These guys, if you stand at your doorstep, basically you are already within 1 meter of your neighbor's house. So it's sort of difficult to socially distance.
You can ask for sugar through Netiso.
Exactly.
No, it's really...
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah,
you whisper to your neighbor because you're afraid to wake up the other neighbor. That's how close all of you guys are.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
All right, there was quite a lot happening over this weekend. We have
never wants to get to the crunch. I can already see he's moving his legs.
We have made it a point to try and not really, talk too much about the COVID-19 pandemic. But every now and then we do have to touch base because it is a serious problem that we're sitting with. Speaking of serious problems, rotten fish. Or fish-lot.
Fish-lot. The fish-lot.
All right. The ruling party had like a press conference.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
They had a press conference.
They had a press conference this weekend, finally addressing the issue of the party being linked to some fish-rot monies. I haven't really seen. Neville?
Why didn't you see it? I mean,
He said he unplugged.
I got disconnect the weekend. I'll go catch up now and depress myself.
I think we were all waiting with bated breath yesterday afternoon at 2:00. The press conference started, obviously.
Stories. That's why you were waiting with bated breath.
Do you think they were going to say yeah?
Ons het mos gewag, Maria. Ons het regtig, we were really waiting.
Your party.
Yes. So around 2:15, the president and basically the top 6 arrived.
Top 4.
Is it the top 4?
There's no top 6. Top 6 is Trasco.
It says var. It says var. So it was the president, the vice president.
It was basically the president, the SG, the vice president, and the deputy. So obviously other SAPO members, because we saw the videos. There was a whole
outside
liberation songs afterwards. So it became a little affair. But the top 4 were. The top 4 were there, and then other SAPO members.
I guess everybody has mixed feelings about the.
Okay, I'm sure everybody is caught up, but in case you are like Cubase and you unplugged.
Yeah.
The president called a press conference to address allegations of SWAPO's involvement or allegedly receiving monies from the fish rot saga or scandal. They categorically denied receiving, I think the words were not a blue, red, penny, not a single penny. They said they are willing to, their audited books are there and can open, but if they're individuals that benefited that cannot fall on the SWAPO party itself. But the SWAPO as the organization itself is saying it has not received a single penny from fish rot. But the other thing that came out is that the party said that they are going to do an internal investigations for then obviously people that have been implicated in or they are members that have been implicated in the fish rot to kind of, so they're going to do a internal investigation. They're going to make those findings public.
Is this now only regarding the guys who have already been caught or regarding any other members of the party?
I think it would be then any monies that made its way to SWAPO through individuals.
Okay.
Because they're saying the organization itself did not get money. But that, they did not deny that money might have gone to individuals by way of the SWAPO brand.
Yeah.
So they're going to do internal investigations. So they said they will make the findings public. But it was basically denied at this point.
But what is the difference? You giving 100 million to Trasco or you giving 100 million to Neville on behalf, so it can make its way to Trasco. What is the difference?
The difference is that, what the party I think is just saying is that our bank account, the SWAPO party organization bank account did not receive money.
There's not money that came directly from fish rot.
There's no money that came from fish rot. Fish rot would also include, by the way, Fishco.
Yeah.
So no direct monies has landed in their specific account, the SWAPO account. This is what they're saying. Okay. And they said we have the proof for it.
Yeah.
But, for example, if money landed, let's say, I'll give an example. Armas Amukuyu. Just somebody, one of the names that popped up. If let's say money went to Armas Amukuyu.
And Armas donated it.
Amukuyu used it.
Donated it to the party.
Then it's a different because then they're saying we can't control Armas. If Armas wants to donate to SWAPO, the individuals want to donate. We're not going to when has any party ever stopped?
Where did you get that money?
They work on good faith. That people always donate. So, but that's what they will be investigating. But yes, the party is clear in that that no money directly went into their account.
So, Neville, do you believe the party?
No. I can't say yes or no. Let the legal process takes its course.
Take its course.
Like
Let
the
Lord
president rightfully said, and Meme Sophia rightfully said, let's see what happens. But it's been interesting. I think one of the biggest controversies of yesterday's press conference was when the president said that, and the president said it, even though he denied saying it. But when the president clearly said that, I don't think they are guilty. Okay? The president did utter those words. Now, obviously, there was quite an exchange between him and the journalist because this journalist wanted to know why would the president make such a statement. And the president vehemently denied that he said that. Now, obviously, straight after that, it was all over social media where that specific clip where the president said, I don't think they are guilty, was basically
circulated,
looped over and over and over again.
His exact words were, I don't think they did it. They have not been found guilty yet. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. Now, and then when, I think it was the reporter from Eagle FM, Dapo Shali, then stood up eventually when it was question time and said, Mr. President, you said you don't think they're guilty. What do you mean? And he got very defensive. Said, I didn't say that. I said, you want to twist my words. What I said is they're innocent until proven guilty. Now, this is going to sound very strange, but I will say it. I really genuinely feel like that was a slip of the tongue. I think what he would have liked to say, and maybe that's why he forgot he said it. I think what he was trying to say is, I'm not saying they're guilty. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. It's like, I'm not saying they're guilty. They haven't been found guilty. And everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And that's why even when that question asked, he clarified, or he got very irritated because he thought it was the media again attempting to twist his words. And then got defensive in saying, did I say that? Oh, okay, if I said that, this is what I meant. But this is not how he responded. It was just in defense mode. Like, again, thinking the media is attacking. But I generally don't think that's what he meant. Like, I don't think they're guilty. I think what he meant to say is, like, I'm not saying that they're guilty. Because he did clarify it over and over throughout the conversation. Like, look, they're innocent until proven guilty. This is our court system. But the court system let them do. But obviously, even when I saw it, and I was like, oh, did he just say that? And then when the question was asked and he defended it, I was like, oh, are you really defending it? And then I had to go to the recordings to make sure what I heard was correct. And yes, he did say it. But in how he responded to the journalist, I think he clarified it. Of course, that's not enough. People are going to, and I have said it as well on social media, that I feel it's going to haunt him. It's a statement that people are going to keep without the full context of him clarifying afterwards that this is what he meant. That is going to be secondary to the main issue, which is, I don't think they're guilty. That's the clip that is going to be replayed, just like when Monica said, people don't hate corruption, they hate when they're not eating. Again, that was a speech that she made, but that was taken out of context. What she was saying basically was that principally we don't hate corruption because people don't stand against it. It's almost like you just hate it when you're not eating. Meaning when you're not eating, you are quiet about it. And then when you're not eating anymore, you're not or not benefiting, then you are the loudest about it. So, and she's not wrong to say that. It's like people are very selective about when to speak out against corruption. But it doesn't matter what the context was.
Which people? When she says people, which people?
Well, I mean, when we had this discussion...
When Islamic, and even you, we've said in this studio,
on
if
Friday,
you got 100 million, will you take it? And you were like, yeah, it's fat.
Yes, I have a price. I have a price.
This is exactly what she's saying. A lot of people, given the chance, will get caught up in corruption because principally, morally, we don't hate it. We just hate it when we are outside it.
Yeah.
And she has a point, but it was picked apart until today haunts her.
And I don't think that she said it because she justifies corruption. She just said it, I wouldn't say verbatim, but that's the norm.
Yes.
That people, once they don't eat anymore, and I mean, we had this discussion on Friday.
Yes.
Once you don't eat anymore, you feel aggrieved, you feel marginalized, you feel left out.
Yes.
So now I'm going to talk.
Yes.
Okay?
And apart from all of that, also a lot of people that are making noise about it, if given the opportunity, they themselves admit, but guys, let's be honest, 100 million or 10 million, Sajini Fatni.
Yeah.
I've heard these conversations.
Yeah.
You
But there's a
can't
smart
talk
way
like
to
that.
eat. Gaddafi, guys. Feed everyone and then eat to your little heart's delight and nobody's going to be worried.
Listen to what Cube is saying.
Anyway, the point is, this is going to haunt him.
It's true. If Saki had made sure that we are all fed, ons ou nie ge-worry het nie. Hulle kon nog gesin eet dit nou. We would have been cheering them on.
The problem with those people, and actually I had this discussion with a very close friend, I think they didn't use the Robin Hood method. Or what do you call it? Even what is this?
Still from the rich give to the poor.
Still from the rich give to the poor. They didn't even use, what is the Colombian drug lord? Escobar.
Yeah.
Escobar, till the point he died, was much loved in his community.
Yeah.
Why? Schools, he built hospitals, he developed them, he gave money to the poor, he built his community. So till today, you cannot go to Colombia in certain communities and talk bad about Escobar. They will defend him. They even sell souvenirs of him in a godly type, you understand, because of what he did for his community. I think with the Fish Rod 7, what they thought is, if we appease the leaders, the people in the power in the position to protect us, quote unquote, that they're good.
By CCing them in our emails. Alright, let's read some comments. Neville,
this guy, ne?
Raak jy weer ongemakkelijk?
Nee, hierdie mochel, ne? Hierdie shines, ne? He shows me a picture of Will Smith in an Arsenal shirt.
Oh.
I mean, how personal can you get?
Can I give another scenario? Before you read the comment? If, for example, they had empowered, let's say, the fishermen, built houses for them, put in their kids in university, let's just say that.
Start a scholarship
The day
fund
they
for
appeared in court, the fishermen would have been there demonstrating for them to get bail.
Yeah.
Because these are people that have helped us, right?
Yes.
Because we have now the community. We are like, let them. They took my daughter to Yunnan. They built my wife a house. They helped me start a business. You understand what I'm saying? It would have been a crowd of supporters. But that's not what happened. You took from the mouths of the poor and enriched yourself. It never works. Anyway, read comments.
All right. Waar begin ons? Niklas Garab Kayongo. He's an old man. I concur with Meria. Sino Kambikiti. Maybe the money landed up in petty cash to avoid black and white.
Another way.
600 million in petty cash. I don't even know the amount. I just sucked that amount out of my thumb. Don't go quoting now. 600 million. Monica Kutsia. Money donated by individuals equals loophole. Richie Mutendere. It's been a minute. Please welcome me back, Q. Actually, I haven't seen you in our comments before.
Who's this?
Richie. Die klein damarigi het soccer gespeel met bro. Is my skoolmaat geweest.
Nee.
Hey, as daai mannetjie daar nie mag is, jy moet ken. Goed is reg. Maar now he's got twice your stomach. I don't even know what happened. Mutatio Castens, Meria, if you have seen me at that press conference, I was there as a member only. I know nothing about that money. Blomiki Sharisa, can the trial of the fish rot be made live for us as a belief? We'll see when the case finally does go to trial.
Yeah. Hopefully we get Oscar
Clearance.
Pistorius type clearance. We've seen it with Sisa Namanja. There will be live streaming allowed. So hopefully, I mean, it is a big case. It would be sad not to allow cameras. Yeah,
landmark
it will be a landmark.
in Namibia.
It will be very sad. But I don't think Charles is, by the way, I think Charles is, if next year or the year after next. It's not going to happen anymore.
Yo, Maria, hoop man.
Yeah. That's not by investigation.
The investigations will be ongoing. Yeah, I think this year, I mean, we're almost at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I thought maybe next year early.
I put it to you that you don't know what you are talking about. The Vivian code is interesting. Mutatio, I drove through Axter and 7de Laan yesterday. It's going to be a catastrophe if and when Rona visits that area. This is worrisome.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
very,
it is.
very.
But the question from Blomiki is what can be done if people don't have erfs of their own?
No, like I said, this pandemic is exposing countries, and it's exposing Namibia. It's exposing where we have failed the people, whether it's the health system, whether it's the housing system, whether it's the social, like on a social level. It's exposing us. There's nothing to be proud about. I'm sorry.
But for me, talking about that, guys, and this whole housing issue that we've had, and we've tried to address this issue for the last 30 years. We never thought that we will be exposed, like you say, on this level. Now we can clearly see COVID-19 sort of really exposed how inadequate this whole housing project has been run in the last couple of years. And now we sit with cramped up communities. There's no space between us. And it's inevitable, like he says, if this thing hits there, 7de Laan, 8de Laan, I can't imagine the catastrophe that can happen.
You just reminded me, didn't the president unveil some plan
to build some mass housing somewhere? Yes, I remember.
I think you were saying plots and...
I remember something about doing housing.
I think it said by the year, whatever they should... Yeah, I have to go check that, but I would like to see what they've started on that.
Yeah. Don't drop the ball, Maria. Maximus Instigator Holy Boy is saying, Maria, you are good at what you do. Journalism at its best. I'm sure you are inspiring someone out there.
Oh, thank you.
Right? And Norsa Toibo Kabapilo wrote us an essay. Good morning, crew. The current COVID-19 statistics that are being recorded are coming from the mass testing center done in Walfish Bay. We are oblivious of the fact that the virus has spread to other regions. The only reason why we do not have huge and factual numbers from other regions is because there are no mass testing stations in these specific regions. We are lucky that almost 90% of positive cases are asymptomatic, which puts other regions in denial. The government need to prioritize mass testing on central towns in all regions in order to assess and plan resources. Pardon me, COVID-19 will not disappear soon. Let's mask on and sanitize.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mass testing should be a thing. I don't know why we're still debating it.
We can't afford it.
But yeah, we should be doing it. Like, I mean, use those Chinese sponsored things also. But
You see, like
Even though they don't work properly.
no, they do actually.
Dude, in Sierra Leone, I think somewhere last week, the doctors went on strike because they have a shortage of basically equipment. And then government decides to buy SUVs, me bro. SUV.
Oh,
Priorities.
Yeah.
African leaders.
That's what's up.
Kwero.
LPM has a press conference at 10.
Yes, they do.
Blom-
I must send it on the group.
yes, I know.
Yeah.
You've seen it. Are you guys going?
We're still discussing it.
Wait, no, I'm at work. HR hasn't given me off. Blomiki Sharisa, our first lady, made a good point. Something fishy. That's Penny Lenny Victory. He said so. Why he denied it while he is really mentioned?
I don't think he knew he said it. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what I'm saying. I don't think he was denying it to be obtuse.
You know, some of the comments are coming from a bit before. So it's some of these things
Obtuse.
that we've already.
What does obtuse mean?
Like you're being deliberately, being deliberately ignorant or...
Maria, please teach me one outlandish English word per day
Okay, obtuse.
in your
Today's-
journalism vocabulary.
Outlandish.
Yeah. You know, the nice thing
Outlandish.
is with our listeners, they will take that word, they'll go to the dictionary, Google dictionary, and then they'll put it here for everybody. So as a belief, go share what obtuse means.
Obtuse.
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 Obtuse, not tuse. You pronounce it obtuse. Anyway, Lamek Konjashili Timotheus, there is a long article in the Namibian newspaper today about fish rod, contradicting with the press conference and the fish rod case.
Yeah, I just saw the headline. It was something about Samari.
Samari,
But I haven't read it yet.
But like, I mean, guys, even never, when you were saying yesterday we were waiting with bated breath, right? For me, it would have almost, it almost goes without saying that they're going to come out and say we did not get any money. They're not going to say, okay, we received 100 million or however money. At the time, we didn't know where it was from or whatever the situation. That is not going to happen. We all knew they were going to come out and say no.
No, I wouldn't have gone that far because this is what the ACC had said during the bail application. I think they said 17 million that made its way. So
To the party.
So I didn't necessarily think there was going to be denial. I just thought there would be an explanation. You
And
understand?
there's no
Which
explanation.
Which is two very different things. So we got it bad. We thought.
We
you
thought it was
understand.
from here.
Yes.
No.
But no, it was a flat out denial.
No, let's just underfund the
But then
ACC
this is
so
always
they
me.
don't find anything.
I think I always have high expectations for
We discussed
people.
that also yesterday.
Yeah.
What?
We underfund them so they don't find anything.
The president was saying, why would I underfund the ACC? Huh? The allegations you people are making that we are underfunding the ACC just to handicap them so they can't do their work. Why would we do that?
Yeah, he denied that as well.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. Blaise Stanley Kalomo, if they could have been smart enough, hulle kon at least die ching gebruik gemaak het om die state hospital te repair for cover-up. You know, patch up the problem.
I think realistically, there's a lot. I mean, I would have preferred they don't eat the money at all. That's just. But if you're going to eat, at least let the communities, like, put up community projects, real tangible, something you can touch and feel. Like this is what you've done for the community. It cannot just be building mansion on mansion and living luxuriously and drinking the finest whiskey and living that life. That's not right. That's not. And anybody that tries to justify that, I don't know. Please go get yourself.
Yeah,
checked.
you cannot steal from the hungry.
Yeah, you can't.
You must
No,
steal
you
from
can't.
those who are already
Definitely.
full.
And just to enrich yourself, because these people were okay. they had money already. So it's just like you're just trying to enrich yourself more. You know, it's wanting more than you already have.
Ja, Knuckles, moro, ons almal wil eet. Selfs ou Neville gaan ook eet as hy die kans kry om te eet.
Is wat first lady say?
Yes.
Ons sal eet. So waar ons sal eet. As ons die kans kry, ons sal eet.
Nee, ek is sorry.
Ai, Maria, hoop asseblief.
Never, money doesn't impress me. I'm sorry. Principally, ek sal nie eet nie. Ek sal nie eet nie. I really won't.
No, I won't eat and let you go hungry.
I'm not saying I'm the most ethical person. I have my there are certain things that I will do that maybe the next person will say are unethical. Look, if I murdered somebody, I might let you catch the bait. But ek wil nie tronk hê nie. But certain things, principles.
We make this thing as clean as possible.
Never?
Nothing will cover our tracks
Sorry.
No.
properly.
Maria, I'm not going to eat while you guys are hungry. That much I can tell you.
Yeah.
Julle moet eers versadig raak. En dan. Then then it's no holds barred.
The morals in the studio are very questionable.
Don't worry, I'm never going to run for public office except for mayor of Okanja. Congo, I'm coming.
Oh, rotten. We're going to rot it even more.
No, we're going to develop our garden town and take it back to its former days of glory.
What, before independence or what?
Are you going to do this with
Yeah.
Congo?
No. First, Quentin needs to get rid of me here. Then I can go start a career in public office. Hello, my president. Oh, yeah. I actually can't wait to hear the song. I don't think they're guilty song. It's probably going to drop sometime today. Or
Yeah.
I don't think. Yes. Oh my God! Now
I don't think they are guilty. I don't think they are guilty.
Never stick. Yeah, lost my net.
That song will come out.
Timo Kalongo is saying, "Wat is ou Neville so afsin vandag? Iets pla hom. Ons ken nie van Neville soon."
Nee, ek is na. Sometimes it's good to listen, my broer.
Asino Kambikite Rastus, Maria Hagelulu just took out coal being cooked by AR when he was flying around Namibia. Up to date, there is no plot developed.
Yeah, no.
Oh, so. I think I get what you're trying to say. The AR was making noise, so he just decided.
Yeah, no,
okay,
there
you're
was
gonna get
that.
plots.
No,
And
I'm
then-
talking about this. These are two
I
different
remember.
issues. These are two different issues. When the AR was making noise in 2015, around there, 2015, 2014, yes, they brought in the leadership to, I think they even met with Meme Sophia Shaningo at the time. They said, okay, fine, ons sal nou reg maak, moenie worry nie, we're going to do something. And then they signed some contracts in the regions. I know I was a journalist in the north at the time. I even attended that. They signed the documents and everything. I don't know where that, but this is not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, there was a huge headline in one of the dailies last year, I think, with Hage talking about that he will develop the informal settlement. I think it will be done in phases.
Yeah.
And people are going to get, I think, title deeds. And that was a very elaborate plan. I want to know what happened to that plan.
I even remember now during lockdown reading something on development of low-income houses in the informal settlements. I just can't remember the full details of the story, but I remember very well reading that headline and just skimming through the story. In any case,
I believe there was a groundbreaking ceremony of what you're talking about last week.
it's possible because
Yeah.
it's very
Because the
recent.
city of Windhoek, it was an initiative, obviously, from the city of Windhoek. I know the mayor was there. You're right. About 1,100 and something houses that were supposed to be built. But the groundbreaking ceremony was supposed to be last week.
No, but
I believe.
we know, man, these things always happen in election year. Always. There are always these great initiatives during election year. Blomiki Sharisa, just like the Swart Boy song, our parliament is also busy making episodes. Monica
Take
could say-
G.
Neville, Jay's honorary spotlight for more, say Monica Kutsia.
For what? Wat het ek gemaakt nou weer?
Sê ons, was jy ook by die persconferentie?
Nee, ek was hier. I was at home.
Were you emceeing? Now we welcome Comrade President to give us our keynote address.
Thank you.
Kaylee, Jessica Klassen, corruption is everywhere. The difference in other countries is that at least the corruption in other countries, it's 20% of their pocket or in their pocket and 80% back into the country. But in this country, it's 99% in the pocket and 1% back into the community or the country, which is where the problem comes from. At least be the right type of leaders you are appointed to be. Castro Paul, this is what happens in a lot of African countries, a corrupt government eating up money and leaving little to nothing for infrastructure development and employment projects. In Europe, they are corrupt too, but at least they make sure they have enough for national development. You see?
Yes.
Laat die mense eet en dan chow jy with impunity. Was Alana Greenwood namens Lutherans? I will be the Peter Pan type of eater, but that's why I feel now because I don't have the money in my possession.
Is he saying that if you were in a position to potentially benefit, you would?
I guess so.
Because I promise you, if they did a poll, just on the morals of the Namibian people, and people said, and a scenario was given, like you could get money and it's guaranteed that nobody would find out about it. Would you take that opportunity or not? I'm almost certain, and this is just based on the conversations I've heard guys having. You know, a little bit of whiskey, say, my Owens, face eerlijk, as you can die position. So you're okay. To sell a doen it. And almost everybody always admits,
I probably would.
Yeah, I probably would.
I'll take some for myself.
Which is fundamentally the problem. And again, goes exactly back to what Monica was saying. Do we really hate corruption, or do we just hate it when we're not benefiting? We need to hate corruption in its entirety to the point that if you get an opportunity to benefit, you say no, because that's how much you hate it. Like it's against your principles and your morals, and you just cannot.
Well, we are from a young age taught to be self-enriching capitalists in
the
order
problem.
to survive in this world.
That is unfortunately the problem. And this is why we put rich people in this country on pedestals. You go listen to the conversation. It's like our role models have to be people that with money. And why? Why can't we make idols of people with character? Like principled and moral character. Those are the ones we should be looking up. Niet over a Ferrari of a Range Rover of wat is die ander karre? Julle wat karre ken.
A Chrysler.
Let's stop with Neville.
Neville's a Bentley. There's a Cassie Bentley loss of 8. Mutat your customs. You see, this is why I like disconnecting. I come back with so much fire on Monday morning.
Daar is net die show klaar maak asseblief. Laat het net gaan.
Chris Kribo, I saw your comment and then it disappeared. I have no idea where it went to, so maybe you can repost it real quick. But anyway, Mutatio, guys, they thought that they were going to get away with it.
Of course.
Yeah, in the quotes of Saki Shangala, the truth will come out, and the truth came out.
No,
people are bitter.
And the sad part, the saddest part of all of this is if they had not been stopped in their tracks, they would still be eating, but like on a higher scale, because there were so many. It's coming out now. There were other projects in the pipeline. So, great.
But they must just let us know. Okay, I need to go visit one of these guys. So I just need to go and find out what these projects are.
Because we can't sit on his brains.
Because we can't stop these projects. Some of us can help with these projects going forward. Okay? They can sit there, but Give us the opportunity to just take the projects forward.
Yeah.
It's a problem, Jay.
Chris Kribo is saying to leave a good legacy is more important than the wealth acquired from depriving the poor.
Thank you. Sorry, read that again. Please, slowly. Please read it slowly.
To leave a good legacy is more important than the wealth acquired from depriving the poor.
Thank you.
Hey, Kribo, what line, man?
I like that line. Very, very well said.
Martin Emutoni, our president once said he wants all the sheikhs out of the capital city by 2025.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm talking about. That's the project I'm talking about. I'm going to find it.
Pau Denny, Michael Amushelelo had contributed money to schools, created jobs, but Fish Road guys are too stingy. They have just destroyed people's
Who
lives.
built schools? What?
Hold up. Why
Amushe.
are you bundling Michael and the Fish
Yes.
Road guys together?
Yes.
Is Michael also corrupt one?
Yeah. What's the comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. Yeah. 1% to Swapo. What is 1% of what? Kanjego statement, guys.
Good morning, guys, in studio on this beautiful Sunday.
Hey, man, lost your laptop, I'm mentioning, right? How is the development process? Okay, guys, how the development process will go on if we are in a big crisis on COVID-19? Dr. Hage, he's in bad luck clothes because other previous presidents were eating like nobody's business also. Why only him to be blamed? Mutu kewete kokao.
Can I be honest? I'm not saying he's eating. That's my president. I don't know why you people say you're stuck with him. Actually, that's my president.
No, it's my president too.
Yeah. Because
I voted for Agaba.
Yes, thank you.
It's all our president.
But apart from all of
If
that,
you are a Namibian, he's your president.
if we're being honest, it's going to get harder for any president that comes in. It's going to gradually, because why? Social media, why the internet, why people are becoming more conscious.
Exactly.
And then the youth movement it gets stronger and more vocal and becomes less tolerant of including corruption.
Yeah.
Being lied to, corrupt. This generation, this youth generation right now, and it's mostly Generation Z, which is,
Exactly.
I mean, it's a young generation. They're very vocal on issues. They're less patient and less tolerant.
Exactly.
But those are great qualities in making true leadership, you understand? And that's why going forward, whoever comes in after Hage will even have a harder time because you will be under the magnifying glass.
No, it will be
and
under the
this
magnifying glass.
Youth that I'm talking about, I'm not talking ek is 35. Ek is nie a jong mens nie. I'm talking about the real youth. I'm talking about people
22,
in their
23.
early 20s.
That is actually the last year that
Yes.
you are considered a youth.
And I'm an elder.
Yeah.
I can
Next
join
year.
the elders council. Anyway, no, what I'm saying is that this youth, they have no problem going to the streets and protesting and demanding. I mean, we even have a pro-abortion demonstration coming up this weekend. It's whatever they're not happy with,
It's actually,
they will rebel.
Maria, it's a good thing you bring the abortion discussion into the thing. The
Press conference.
you know, the screenshots we were sharing in the group or that was shared in the group over
Yeah.
the weekend. Is that public information? Can we discuss that?
Yeah, we can.
Is it?
Yeah. So there was screenshots of a group Christians,
Namibian Christian women.
women of God.
Yeah.
That consisted of Margaret Mensah, consisted of Alma Dianda of PDM in Parliament, that consisted of Christine Haube. Is it Haubes or is it Haube? She's the Minister of Presidency. And then she's not a pastor, what is it? The one of Kapere, the Maria Kapere.
Oh, yeah.
Reverend Maria Kapere, where they are discussing amongst themselves, basically caucusing amongst themselves to stop the discussion or the policy change around the legalization of abortion.
Yeah.
This, I think, the screenshots came in. It's the fact that they're caucusing amongst themselves already to stop something instead of just letting it go through the natural process that is fundamentally wrong. But even more than that, I think it exposed Margaret Mensah, because in 2017, Margaret Mensah Williams was quoted by the Namibian Sun talking about women need, reproductive health, and she was basically in support of abortion, talking about how there's a lot of illegal abortion. It goes against, saying all the correct things. Basically, and the LGBT community needs to be. She was saying all the right things, but then in the group we are just seeing homophobia. We are just seeing
Illuminati Western
culture. So those screenshots were making the rounds. I know at the press conference, one of the journalists tried to hold Jemima tried to hold Margaret to account, but she was stopped. She was stopped in her tracks.
This is not for those other things.
I call the press conference.
This press conference is
about the
fish rot and corruption.
But
don't come here with this.
Maybe Margaret, we are not going to let this one go.
No, nobody's letting it go.
You're going to have to answer for some of those.
Tell us why in a space of 2 years, basically.
Yes.
You've changed. And by the way, she's always at the Be Free movement things of the First Lady.
Yeah.
And the Be Free, they talk about this thing.
But then that means basically you are trying to fool the public, because in public you are standing with the people, and then
But
in
behind
private
you are lobbying against.
Yes.
This just.
So the men's a screenshot for the makar.
Yeah.
So this was a
No, but whoever took the screenshot
private-
wasn't talking.
Yeah.
It was the conversations of the other one.
That one is not eating anymore, because I saw even on one of the screenshots it says you are no longer a participant of this group. So they're not eating anymore, so they decided to throw sand in everybody's food. But it's
I wonder
it's
if there are any screenshots of mine doing the rounds.
Yes. The time I need a gig screen.
Yeah.
Nee, eintlik nee.
Be like us, put it on your social media so that people constantly
Then they
know
see.
where
Come on,
they
it's
stand
not
with
hidden.
you.
Yeah,
It's no
it's not
hidden
hidden.
agenda. I don't discuss things on WhatsApp. Ek praat daar wat jy dit kan sien.
Yeah.
I need you to
You
know
hide
where
it
I
in
stand.
plain sight.
Yes, it's there. Yeah. Net so.
Some of us think these are safe spaces
Safe spaces with
to root
15
against
members.
abortion.
My guy, there is no such
These
thing
things
as a
just
safe
come
space.
out like that. Nee, man.
Safe space is just face to face.
Yeah.
Yes.
And make sure also there are no
Recordings.
Samari cameras around anywhere. So,
Two
Somebody
SIM
cameras.
cards.
yeah, talking about two
I
SIM
like
cards.
black.
All right, guys. Maybe we should be out of the studio.
We should.
I understand we are talking to the guys from Legal Shield tomorrow morning.
Yeah, there's a new campaign that they will be starting, but we will just finalize the details today, and we'll have them in the studio tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning. Yeah.
In the meantime, keep tuned on to Informanté News.
Yeah.
We'll be giving you the day's news, obviously starting with the COVID-19 update. And then, whatever
I
comes
see.
along.
Sorry, guys. Phew, some devastating news that just came through now. I see the daughter of the late President Nelson Mandela, Zinzi Mandela. She
Passed
just
away.
passed away.
Oh, shame. Sorry. May she rest in
Okay.
peace.
Was she ill?
Yeah, but we don't know the details yet. I just see it all over social media.
She's
that
one
she-
of the more known ones, I would say. Oh, that's devastating.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy now. It is nighttime here in the USA. Have a good morning, my people.
Who's this?
Have a good morning.
Sebi Uyana Kapitako.
Oh, okay.
I've heard your name in one of those One Blood songs.
Waragat.
But this guy,
Waragat.
you guys say there's no money to be made from music in Namibia. These guys have come up with their own strategy.
Ne?
Ek sê net mense se name en man but tell me, I don't know how much people pay to have their names mentioned in the song.
What's city?
This guy is releasing like a new song
So I
every
can
day.
pay somebody to put my name in a song?
Yes.
And then you must pay them.
Guys, please give me your quotations. Let's not just give me that COVID-19, what do you call it?
Refund what?
Yeah, the... what do you call it?
750.
No.
Discount,
That's not
discount,
750.
The discount.
Oh.
Give me the COVID discount.
COVID
Laat ons besigheid praat, man.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Don't forget, at 12 o'clock, we've got a German and a Wambo speaking reparations in studio. There's Hannes Kaufman and Tatena Hannes.
There can't be reparations between a German and a Wambo.
Hey.
No, it doesn't work like that.
No, actually, it's the problem would be a German and a Herero, or a German and a Nama.
They tried to put me there, but let's say, ons sal nie mekaar verstaan nie.
Nee,
So
hulle
kom ons
sal
sit
nie.
maar vir Semi daar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's Semi and Tatena is there coming. Tatena is and Tate Kaufman at 12, between 12 and 1. It's going to be streaming live on Informanté Radio's Facebook page. Make sure you check it out. We are out of here.
Sharp, sharp.
Have a lovely Sunday.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, Monday to Friday.
The Morning Mix.
You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know me. You don't know me, you don't know me, you don't know me. You don't. 1, 2, 3, 8.